What's up, hotties? Welcome back to the channel. Are you somebody that is always struggling when it comes time to go to a fancy event because you don't have the right coat to go over your outfit? Or are you wondering how you're supposed to stay cute when it's absolutely freezing outside? Listen, if that's you, today's keys to the hot life is exactly what you need. I'm going to teach you how to build a useful yet chic coat collection so that you always have something in the closet to reach for when it's time to go outside in the winter. I can't wait to show you what I've got. Stay tuned. This video is just for you. What's up, hotties? Thanks for sticking with me. I cannot wait to jump into this fashion video. But before we do that, for those of you who may be new here, I'm Leslie, also known as the Hot Mommy. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe so that you never miss any of my weekly uploads. Over here, we like to cover all things hot life, as I say, which I talk about travel, I talk about motherhood and parenting, fashion, obviously, and everything in between, with the hopes that I can inspire you to really know how radical it is for a woman, and especially Black women, to live their most magnificent lives. Today, we're jumping into one of my favorite topics and something we call here on the Hot Mommy channel, the keys to the hot life. We're going to be talking all about how to build an impeccable yet functional coat collection. Temperatures outside are frigid and you need to stay warm, but you don't have to sacrifice cute to have that. Behind me, you'll see we have our favorite gold rack. Those of you who are familiar here, the hotties, know this is where we bring our looks together. And so I have a series of coats behind me that I want to share with you so that I can tell you how to really build the foundation of a coat closet, because baby, that jean jacket cannot go with everything. Okay, we put it to the side. Just go and put it to the side. So let's hop right to it. Okay, hotties, so we're in front of the coat rack. One thing I want to start off with is showing you how I'm wearing a very basic outfit formula. So I've told you all before, I'm very much a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. And here's the thing. I have a belief that if you can impeccably style a white t-shirt and a pair of jeans, then you are going places. It doesn't take a whole lot to look extremely cute. And I wanted to make sure that I kept my sort of outfit underneath very basic so that you can see exactly just how far a coat can take you. When it comes to coats, as I said, I know I live in Los Angeles, and to some people they have this idea that you don't need a coat here, which is very strange because it was 47 degrees this morning. So I'm not sure where you're going with no coat. But that being said, there are a few coats that I think everybody should have in their closet regardless of where you live. And then we have some variations on that coat style I think you can sort of implement based on your taste level. One coat that everybody needs in their closet is some sort of trench style coat, which standardly we know is just a regular sort of khaki trench. It has lapels. You know, you can choose whether or not you want this to be oversized, but this is like a standard coat that everybody should have because it can go with jeans, it can go with your everyday workwear, it can take you sort of like day to night. It really is the coat that does it all. It's a heavy lifter in your closet. And so if you don't have one already, aim to get a trench coat. It also doesn't have to be something that is extremely expensive. It doesn't have to be something that, you know, is way out of your price range. We're talking like from Target to Burberry, right? Obviously, if you know anything about fashion, you know that Burberry is the place to go for trench coats that are very, very high end. People love a Burberry coat, but we can go in between, right? You can do a nice Zara, you can do a Massimo Dutti, you can do a COS coat, and then if you want to go sort of extremely like affordable, you can even do sort of a Target coat. And I'll tell you, this is a Target collab from years ago that I still have when they did with Neely Lotan. And I love this coat, okay? Most trench coats are going to have some sort of cape style in the back. And obviously they're belted. I like to belt my coats just through the back and tie them because it creates a little bit of shape around the body. I really love putting on this trench coat with anything. I mean, I'm talking like I said, jeans and a t-shirt. And you see how simply like it brought a look together. You see how it gave me some shape. It instantly makes me look a little bit more chic. And even though I just have on a plain white t-shirt and jeans, it elevated the look immensely. Now, as you can see, like there's pockets. Has a little bit of a swing. I really love a trench coat and think that everybody should have one in their closet. Now, when we talk about color, Tan and, you know, khaki is typically the sort of color you want to go for a trench coat. But once you have that in your closet, you can play around with other styles. I have a trench coat that is half navy on the top and then khaki on the bottom. And as you can see, I also have a leather trench coat, which gives a completely different look when put on top of an outfit because of the material. Leather trench coat is something that I would wear like on a date night or an evening sort of time. You know what I mean? Because it gives the outfit a little bit of polish. And y'all know how I feel about polish. Most people are typically missing that in their outfits, and a coat can really add to that. So if you're looking for a trench coat and you don't have one already, I would start with something that is not necessarily too oversized, but fits well to the body, something that you can pull the belt and have a little shape or pull to the front. You don't want to look like you're swimming in your coat. And I think that when people think about trench coats at times, they're like sort of oversized and you feel like, oh, am I going to look like a detective? You know what I mean? But really that's all about fit. So get something that's going to be able to fit you a little close to the body, give you a little shape, but that can be layered with a sweater, knit, or even a sweatshirt. Let me show you what the leather coat looks like too. Now listen, okay? I love this leather trench coat. Now again, this is something where I'm not a person that saves my, like, you know, fancy pieces or saves my more elevated pieces for something specific or special occasions. I wear my clothes, okay? So I will wear this out even just running errands, hanging out with my homies, you know, because it's something that is going to keep me warm, but it's easily layerable. And once again, it can elevate an outfit. If you don't have a trench coat in your wardrobe, this is the number one. So the next coat we're going to talk about is an overcoat. I know you all have experienced getting ready for a fancy occasion. You're going out to an event and you're like, yes, I look so good. My dress is on. My little suit looks good. And you go to reach for a coat and you don't have the right one. Okay? Listen, the reason I know you've done it is because I've done it. We've all done it. You know, when we're little kids, your mama just push you in your little coat and you go on. And so because you typically don't have a myriad of coats in your closet when you're young, as you get older, it becomes a thing that you have to sort of train yourself to do. And that's why I want to teach you about an overcoat. Because I cannot tell you how many times I have seen a beautiful person outside, outfit down, honey, looking good, and then they have on a bad coat. And now the whole outfit is ruined. It really, truly is. So that's why you need an overcoat. Now, an overcoat is usually something that may or may not come with a belt. It usually does have lapels. You know, I have one that has a little bit of a larger sleeve. It's a little oversized. That's how I wanted this coat to fit. But you want something that is going to cover your entire look. That's the point. This should be something that's like grazing the ankle. It definitely is below the knee, right? It doesn't have to drag to the ground. You don't need your coat on the floor, but it should be something that is like reaching the top of your ankle. That is definitely not showing your outfit, almost so that when you get to the affair or you get to the location, there's a reveal when you take your coat off, okay? Now, this coat itself does not have buttons. Some people's have buttons, you know what I mean? But it does have a belt. It is able to close and wrap around. That is something you want in your overcoat. You want it to be something that has a closure. I like this because, again, we're looking for shape. You love to have a little bit of a pocket, somewhere, one, to put your hands for a photo, okay, but also, you know, to hold a phone or anything that you may need. But this is the sort of coat that you need to have in your closet as a grown-up, because you're going to be going to grown-up things. Whether it's a date, whether you're going to take in a concert, you know, you're going to a nice party. You want to have a coat that can go over your look. You spend all that time putting your look together. Do you really want your third piece to take away from it? I don't think so. I don't think so. A black overcoat is really something that you should, you know, have in your closet. Obviously, black is a standard color. Fabric is usually wool of some sort because it's going to keep you warm. You're not going to be cold. And when you go outside, you hit in the club, you want to make sure you have your good coat on when it's time to come back out when you've been sweating, okay? I don't care what they say. Y'all know your grandma told you if you're sweating and you go into the cold, you're going to get sick. So you need a good coat on, okay? Now, once you have a black overcoat, that's when you can sort of start branching out with your colors. You know, you can get a gray. You can get something that has a cute pattern, like a houndstooth, you know, a cute plaid or tartan or wool or something like that. But you want to stick with the basics as you're building your collection because you still want to make sure you always have something to reach for. And a good black overcoat is just that. coat is going to be your most basic coat. This is sort of like your winter parka, your puffer, you know, whatever you're going to need to throw on just really to stay warm. This is the type of coat that is really for function, okay? Now, it's not to say that it can't be fashionable. If you reach for something that is going to be a basic color, it is going to lean more toward being chic than it would be if you got a coat that is like a very bright color or a pattern that doesn't go with everything. This is not to say that you have to shy away from patterns. I've seen some beautiful like floral printed puffers, some that are like great shiny colors, and those do help you stand out in a crowd, right? You'll never lose your coat and your friends will never lose you. I, for one, am just someone that leans a bit more toward neutrals, but if you're somebody who looks for coats like that, I love Farm Rio's coats. They have wonderful looking coats that have great patterns and colors. Also, always look at ASOS. They have an amazing coat selection, and so those are places that you can start from, as well as Zara. I do not like to buy everything from Zara because I don't think that it's made to last, but the one thing that I can say is they make a quality coat. If you spend the time to invest in your coat, it will definitely be with you for a long time, and you won't have to worry about buying multiple as the years go on. That brings us back to our standard coat, which for me actually happens to be a Zara floor length puffer. Now, y'all, I love this coat. Okay, when I moved back to Los Angeles, wow, maybe like almost 20 years ago at this point, I really was longing for, like, you know, my coats and my big things, and I kind of fell into the like, well, I don't know if I need a big old coat. And after so many seasons, okay, of getting rained on and not having the appropriate jacket for water coming out of the sky, I was like, girl, it's because you don't have a puffer. It's because you don't have the right coat, right? Like, why are we playing? Contrary to popular belief, it does rain in Southern California, okay? It rains, and you need a raincoat. Otherwise, you're going to be sopping, soaking wet, and you're going to look crazy. And that's where the puffer comes in. I love the rain, but I don't want to be wet. You know what I'm saying? I want to get something that is not super overstuffed. For me, that is this. But you also want to get something that is lined very well. There is fleece inside of the lining in this coat, so it is so warm. Okay, I don't have to worry about being cold. I don't have to worry about freezing. You want to get a good puffer or rain jacket that has a nice hood that actually covers your face, right? Something that's going to stay closed so it buttons around the face. I love that this coat zips all the way up from the bottom, but it's a double zipper. And so you know when you're in your coat, and if it zips from the bottom and it's floor length, and then you can't walk and you're having to shuffle, no, this one has a double zipper. Right? So I can zip it all the way up, but then zip up from the bottom so that my legs still have room to walk me to the car. It is wonderful. I love that the pockets in this coat are deep. I think sometimes when you have a good puffer and the pockets are kind of shallow, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? I also don't love when puffer coats just have pockets up here on your boobs. Do y'all walk like this? Because I don't want to walk like that. So when it comes to getting a quality puffer, you want to think about something that is lined very well. You want to think about something that's also going to reach down and cover your entire body, but still has some sort of double zipper so that you have a reasonable way to get around when it's wet. A big hood, and again, something that definitely like covers the sleeves. I love that this has like cuffs on the end, so I don't have to worry about water going up into my coat. You know what I mean? It's just these things I feel like people don't think about when it comes to that. You see how I can put this on over my jeans, over my t-shirt with my little boots, and I look cute? If I put on my rain boots and this little puffer, I'm not going to look like, you know, a little kid going out to play in the puddles. And that's not what you want to look like. Even if the weather is not great, you don't want to look how it looks outside. You still want to look chic. Functional yet chic clothing is definitely what we're going for when it comes time to build a coat collection. Coat we're going to talk about is the bomber jacket. Now, a bomber jacket is something that typically has what are called like flight sleeves, which means the sleeves are a different material, sort of like a, you know, polyester or something that water can kind of roll off of. And then the base or body of the coat may be wool, may also have that same like polyester sort of feeling. I have one that does have flight sleeves and then also has a wool body. This coat, some people like a cropped bomber. Some people like to have something that is a little bigger and oversized sort of look. That kind of came into style a few years ago when people were doing like really oversized bombers and then kind of like short dresses or skirts or things. I like this jacket because it's like a traditional sort of length. It falls right just below the waist. It's not cropped just here. So it does kind of cover. It's a little larger than I probably would typically wear it nowadays. But I still do reach for it. Again, it's something that can go easily with jeans. It can pair well with that. It can pair well with some sort of like casual look, your sweatpants, your leggings. I think having a flight jacket or a bomber style jacket is important because it's a great layering piece. With a flight jacket or coat, it's for somebody that maybe lives in a climate sort of like I do where it does get chilly, but you want to have on a lot of layers because the temperature can gauge like, you know, 45 and then it can be 70 and then it's going to drop back down to the 40s. And so with that 30-degree drop, you need to be able to take layers off. This is not the style of jacket that you need to be wearing to a fancy occasion. Don't let me see you at your holiday party with this bomber coat on, okay? It's gonna bother me. This is something that you definitely would wear like running errands, hanging out, going out on a date, you know, just kicking it. That is the kind of coat this is. It is a very casual looking coat, and that's why I would say it's not necessarily mandatory because you have your trench and you have your overcoat and you have your big puffer or a puffer that can carry you. These three coats right here and style of coat are going to be the base of your collection. When you get into things like this that are a little more extra, like having a bomber, that's something that you're just adding so that you can have a little more creativity when it comes to your outfits. And I do have multiple styles of a bomber or sort of flight jacket. And in fact, I'll show you another one. The bomber jacket style is the same as a Letterman jacket. Now, those of you who have been watching the channel know that I had this coat specially custom made for me right before Howard Homecoming. But a Letterman jacket is the same sort of style as a bomber. This one, as you see, has leather sleeves, but still the wool sort of body or base. You know, this is a coat that I wouldn't pull out all the time to wear with everything. But again, because it is something that has like a neutral sort of colorway, because it is a very classic shape and style of coat, it can also be worn with jeans and a t-shirt and elevate a look. It's giving, you know, the sporty cash, it's giving cute alumni, you know what I mean? A bomber jacket is something that really can like kind of go either way. Depending upon the fabric and how that jacket is made will determine when you wear it. I have spring bomber coats and bomber jackets that are great, and then I have sort of winter and fall bomber jackets that are great. That's where this Letterman or perhaps this wool jacket will come in, and then my more light versions come in sort of the spring and the summertime. This is a jacket that once you have fulfilled this need in your closet, you definitely want to add because it'll just give you a little bit more fun and a little bit more ways to play with your clothes once you have it. Get into some of the more fun coats that I have in my collection that maybe can inspire you on some ones that you've been wanting to get. Now, remember what I said about having a cute pattern jacket, something that you don't reach for all the time but will definitely elevate your look whenever you throw it on. That's what I found in this Isabel Marant coat. Now, I bought this coat when I was going to Jackson Hole one year. I was like, I want something that's warm but also really cute and not really standard in my collection. When I tell you, this coat is so beautiful. The material is just so thick. It is beautifully like sewn together. I can't even tell you. I just am like in love with this jacket. And when I bought it really for the pattern. As you can see, again, it still comes in my neutral colorway. Remember, we talk about like choosing sort of your color palette as you build your wardrobe. You can find that in some of the earlier versions of Keys to the Hot Life videos. But even when I'm looking for patterns or fun coats, I tend to stick within the same colorway that I'm always going to wear so that it's not something too outlandish in my closet, and I will actually continue to reach for it. This black and white jacket, y'all, it's beautifully oversized. It's so gorgeous. Now, it has a button closure, okay? So I can button it, right? It is sort of a shorter overcoat. As you can see, the sleeves are a little large, but it's got a fringe to it. It's beautiful, but it's also something that I can throw on with, you know, kind of a specific look. It's something that I love for like a Western kind of feel. It gives that sort of, you know, indigenous or native vibe. I really, really like this coat. Now, it does have pockets. Again, I need a coat with pockets. If your coat don't have pockets, what's the point? honestly. Where I have on an outfit that's kind of basic, you know, jeans, a t-shirt, a coat like this, because it's patterned, because the material is different, it's, you know, a little thicker, it's gonna give the outfit some interest. It's gonna make people say, oh wow, what a coat, that is so great. And this is an example of how a coat can turn an outfit around. Because if I just had on a regular bomber or just a regular little trench coat, sure, I would look cute. But this coat is something that's gonna give your outfit something a little more, a little bit of pizzazz. And so those are the kind of things that you wanna add to your wardrobe to make it something more fun and enjoyable for you. Isabel, you did that with this coat, just so you know. I love it. As a girl that loves fur, I think you have to have a fur jacket, okay? I think you have to have a fur coat in your collection. And that's really because I think it elevates anything. It instantly makes something look luxurious. It instantly makes like your outfit have a level of decadence and, you know, overture. And it is something that my friends know, everyone knows, Leslie is going to wear fur, okay? Now, once again, you see that it is sort of a basic color, but it's definitely gonna keep me warm. I'm definitely gonna feel like a lady who leisures, a woman who loves champagne at 10 a.m. That is my thing. But what I do also love about fur is its versatility. You really can wear a fur coat with anything. And when I'm telling you, I throw this on with sweatpants, with a sweatshirt, with leggings, with jeans, with a coat, a dress. This is like the coat that I reach for in those times. Now, this is not something that I will wear to every, you know, fancy occasion. This is not something that I'm always gonna just put on. But to know that it's in my closet, I think that once you hit the basics, this is the next place for me to go and get something that is a neutral color, so a brown, a tan, even a black, you know, that will go with most of the things in your wardrobe. And because the coat is already fur, you don't have to lean to something like really bright or really exciting, because it's going to be paid attention to, right? It's a fur coat. If you walk in largely in a body length fur coat, you will not be missed. I'll show you another one of my favorites that I love to reach for, and that is this purple cropped one. Now, this is a little bit more of a bomber style, as you can see, because it has the short sleeves. It's cropped around the waist. This is a coat that I like to put on when I'm gonna be a little, you know, flirty and cute, right? It just automatically gives you a little like, you know. And so if you're looking to have a coat like that, that's what crop jackets will do. That's where length comes into play. So when you have a cropped coat, because you're showing off a little bit more of your body, that's why these coats are really cute. Now, again, they're not for everything, but it is something that I will wear out. I wore this to a holiday party last week. It got a lot of love. So, you know, I think it's okay when you're reaching for something shorter and cropped and a little fun and flirty to go with a different color, which is why I have the little burgundy wine, a little merlot, but also still within a little bit of a neutral family. So, you know, it plays its part in the closet. Now, it doesn't get reached for all the time, but when she does get pulled out, honey, she's the main character. She is that girl. Understand? All right. Two coats, I'm going to talk about materials that are not standardly used or wanting to be worn in like wet weather, but I think that they can be a fun addition to your closet, and that is buccal and suede. Now, a buccal material is sort of what you all have seen. It's kind of like the curly shearling fur looking kind of thing. I have that in this gray cropped coat, which I love, super cute. This is, again, not a jacket that I'm always reaching for, but it's really fun and easy to kind of throw on. It has these boob pockets, so I'm never gonna be able to really like put my hands in my pockets comfortably. They're up here, you know, but this is just one of those things that was cute and it's good to have to throw on. I like the color. I love that it's a cute gray, so it's great for fall. These are the kind of coats that you can grab and reach for when you already have everything else in your closet covered. I would not say going out and buying coats that have these sort of delicate fabrics or things that can't withstand the weather. They don't need to be in your closet if you have not fulfilled the basics. Suede coat, let me tell you, I had this coat for years. I can't even tell you or remember when I got it, but one of my favorite things is like a big collar. I love that I can sort of put this up You know, it goes great with a pair of boots. Like, this is the kind of coat that, you know, when you walk into a space and you got on a bad boot, honey, whoo, I love it. This is when I reach for that coat. This coat is warm, but again, because of the shearling, something that can get easily dirty, can get easily like matted and messed up, I don't reach for this coat often. But when I do, I'm so glad she's there. So this is one of my fun coats. Really enjoy it. It's in the collection, but she's not a, you know, girly that always gets a lot of play, and that's all right. You have to have those fun pieces inside of your wardrobe that do make it exciting, you know, that can add a different touch to all of the rest of your everyday clothes. And this is one of those items. So if you see a coat that's a fun material or a fun pattern, you're like, when would I ever wear that? Once you fulfill the basics, get it. Do yourself a solid. Reach for things that are going to bring you joy. Your closet doesn't have to be so serious. You just want to make sure that it serves you when you need it to. But that doesn't mean that you can't add fun, exciting elements to bring a little joy and a little zhuzh to your wardrobe. Okay, hotties, that brings us to the end of this edition of Keys to the Haute Life, where we learned about how to build a coat collection. Remember, the basics of your coat collection are going to be a trench, an overcoat, a puffer or a parka, and then some sort of bomber jacket. After that, the possibilities are endless. Coats don't really have to be boring, but you do want to make sure that you have your needs met when you get outside into those elements, because everybody hates to be cold, okay? After you've hit all those elements, you can start to bring in the fun with fur, other materials, fabrics, and patterns. It really can get exciting. I just want to make sure that the next time you head out to a fancy occasion, you're not pulling out your jean jacket to go over your dress, because it's not it, okay? So if you know somebody who also could benefit from learning how to build their coat collection, be sure to send them this video and make sure you subscribe so that you never miss any of my weekly uploads. If you loved everything we talked about here today, give your girl a big thumbs up and don't forget to share it, because we're always trying to grow the hottie gang. As always, thank you for being here, and I can't wait until I see you next week. Bye.